Gwen Stefani has never been afraid to take a risk. From ska-punk roots and No Doubt to pop chart domination, fashion empire, and even a stint in the country, she's done it all. But what's her new venture? Nobody saw this one coming. She's narrating the Bible. Yes, the same Gwen Stefani who gave us Hollaback Girl and Rich Girl is now providing the voice for scripture. And so, how did she transition from pop sensation to spiritual author? Let's turn back. It all started in the late 80s when No Doubt was a local ska band performing in Anaheim, California. At that time, Gwen was not even the vocalist. That was John Spence, the charismatic lead singer of the band. But then tragedy struck when Spence took his own life in 1987, leaving the band shattered. Gwen, who was merely the backup vocalist, was in a split second catapulted into the limelight. Their path to fame wasn't easy. Grunge was on top of the early 90s, and No Doubt's upbeat ska sound wasn't what record labels were looking for. They trudged through years of poverty, performing in small clubs and pleading for their moment in the sun. All of that changed in 1995. Their third album, Tragic Kingdom, exploded onto the charts. Spurred by hits like Just a Girl and Don't Speak, the album sold over 16 million copies worldwide. Gwen overnight was an international icon, her bleach blonde hair, red-lipped pout, and punk rock aesthetic. During the peak of No Doubt, Gwen went on solo pop superstardom, producing hits like Hollaback Girl and The Sweet Escape. She then surprised us all again, embracing country music with her current spouse, Blake Shelton.
Also, the other huge collab was this producer called Scott Hendricks, who is more of a country producer. He produced it. And it was like this really weird combination of us two together. So it didn't seem normal, but it was super normal when it happened. But it's not a country record.
Reinvention is always her game. So is it truly so surprising to chronicle the Bible? Maybe not. Gwen has discussed religion over the course of her career, and this movie might be her attempt at tapping into something higher. What's next? If past is precedent, Gwen Stefani isn't done shocking us yet. By the early 2000s, Gwen Stefani was ready to do something different. She had already dominated the ska-punk scene with No Doubt, but now she wanted something new. Enter her solo career. Her first album, Love Angel Music Baby, was a 180 from the sound of her band. Gone were the ska and punk sounds, in came pop with hip-hop beats and electronic elements. And it worked. Hollaback Girl was the first song to be sold digitally over 1 million times, and Rich Girl kept her on top of the charts. But Gwen didn't only transform her music, she transformed her entire image. In the wake of Tokyo's Harajuku fashion movement, she launched bold theatrical fashion and her Harajuku Girls, 4 Japanese backup dancers who were now a part of her persona. While fans loved her uniqueness, others were not exactly happy. Critics accused her of cultural appropriation, claiming that the dancers were props, but Gwen refused to apologize. Instead, she went full throttle on the theme, launching a Harajuku-themed clothing line. Her second solo release, The Sweet Escape, 2006, showed she wasn't a one-hit wonder. Another massive hit was the title track featuring Akon, and Gwen remained a pop queen. By 2012, however, she felt the pull of her heritage. No Doubt reformed and produced Push and Shove. It wasn't another Tragic Kingdom, but it showed the band still had an ardent following. But the reunion was not long-lasting, as Gwen's solo career and personal life eventually took over. Speaking of life in the public eye, Gwen's love life was under scrutiny. In 2002, she married Bush frontman Gavin Rossdale, and for many years, the two were among rock's steadiest couples. They were blessed with 3 children, but in 2015, the whole thing disintegrated. There were reports of Rossdale's alleged tryst with the nanny. Just after 13 years of wedded bliss, Gwen filed for divorce.
I'm still like looking at the pieces going, what is happening? You know, there's so many great things, but it's still super hard to like have your family break up. What do you do after that? Like, here we are, we're doing it.
Along the way, Gwen has never stopped evolving. From ska to pop, fashion to country, and now reading the Bible, one thing's for sure. She's always got another trick up her sleeve. Blake Shelton, the Oklahoma cowboy and the California punk pop princess. An odd pair no one could have foreseen. Their relationship began on The Voice, where both were judges, each bringing their own special musical spice to the program. Both were recently divorced when they met, becoming friends first before realizing there was something more between them. Fans were skeptical at first. Gwen Stefani, the chatty, fashion-conscious rocker who loves ska and pop, and Blake Shelton, the laid-back country singer who crooned about beer, trucks, and heartache, just didn't look like something that would work. Love has a strange way of defying people. Their on-screen and off-screen chemistry was undeniable. Soon enough, their banter on The Voice turned into something more, and in 2015, they made it official. It was a romance that swept fans off their feet. They didn't date, they collaborated, bringing their worlds together in ways no one anticipated. Gwen, who built her reputation on brooding pop anthems, dipped into country, singing duets like Nobody But You and Happy Anywhere with Blake. Fans were able to see a different side of her, one that praised simplicity, love, and even a touch of Southern Belle sweetness. And in 2021, they cemented it all in a quaint wedding at Blake's ranch, proving that opposites do attract. But while Gwen's private life was going well, her working life was altering in other unexpected ways too. She was no longer just the frontwoman of No Doubt or the best-selling solo artist. She was making herself a household name in an entirely different arena, reality TV. Being a coach on The Voice, Gwen became an overnight fan favorite. Fans adored her not only for her music knowledge, but because she was honest, funny, and most importantly, a match for Blake. Unlike a few celebrities who have floundered moving from the glitz of music TV to reality TV, Gwen seemed to find it easy. She wasn't pretending to be someone she's not. She was being genuine. People could relate to that. But television and music weren't her only endeavors. If Gwen Stefani has ever been known for one thing, it's her trendy, eclectic fashion sense. And so, it shouldn't have been a surprise when she parlayed her passion for fashion into a full-fledged empire. Early in the 2000s, she launched her own clothing brand, LAMB, an expression of her eclecticism. High fashion bred with streetwise inspiration, a pinch of vintage, a pinch of rock and roll. The brand gained traction as a fashionista must-have for something fresh and daring. She expanded later into Harajuku Lovers, a playful and lower-end line that encompassed clothing, accessories, and even scents. Through every stage of her career, music, TV, fashion, one thing remained the same: Gwen's ability to remake herself. She never stayed in one lane, always pushing limits and embracing new challenges. But beneath the glamour and constant change lay something else driving her: her faith. Raised in a Catholic household, Gwen had always had a religious aspect, though it was never necessarily at the forefront. She started speaking more openly about her religion in recent years, particularly as she grappled with personal matters. Her breakup with Gavin Rossdale, having a child, falling in love again, and coping with the pressures of fame.
I feel like I woke up spiritually, you know what I mean? Like, so when you do that, everything is in color, and you're sort of seeing things with new eyes, and you just sort of, you just see everything through gratitude.
That leads us to her latest and perhaps most unexpected career move: narrating the Bible. When the news dropped, the fans were stunned. Gwen Stefani, the same girl who used to warble out "Hollaback Girl" and "Wind It Up," now warbling out for scripture. It came as a shock, to say the least. Some were interested, some were confused, and of course, the internet was rife with commentary on the topic. It wasn't merely another career change, Gwen claims. This one was personal. She described it as a way to say something very significant to the world. After all, religion had played a large role in her life, especially over the last few years. She had had heartbreak and healing, highs and lows, and through it all, her religion had been a steady force. Singing the Bible for her was a means of connecting others beyond fashion and music, to leave something behind that might be a source of hope, comfort, or even just an alternative perspective. Of course, not everyone was convinced. Some of her fans complimented her on being truthful about her spirituality, while others questioned whether this was just another celebrity publicity stunt. The media were in a frenzy, wondering if this was a genuine move or just another twist in a long line of reinventions. But of one thing, we can be certain about Gwen Stefani: she doesn't do anything halfway. Fashion, music, television, spirituality, whatever the activity, if she does it, she's in. She'll not only change, she'll shock the world and open up to new aspects of herself. From punk rock princess to country sweetheart, from style icon to reality show star, and now from pop icon to spiritual storyteller, Gwen Stefani has never been an easy act to pin down, and maybe that's exactly why she's so beloved. So, what do you guys think? Is Gwen's Bible narration the natural next step, or her most shocking career move yet? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. And if there's another celebrity whose journey you'd love us to explore, drop their name and we'll dive right in. See you in the next video.